what K-drama are you watching right now?
It's called True Beauty. Okay. Listen, it's bad.
I know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I read the whole webtoon.
Yeah.
God.
Cool. Yeah.
I love where it's like it was a webtoon to start. That's the starting
fantastic.
point.
Well, sometimes webtoons produce great things.
That's
sometimes
true.
not.
Also true.
But I read the whole webtoon and I was like, well, I have Netflix for free. When Netflix was up on this window, I was like, yeah, I need something to watch while I eat my spaghetti. So I was like, let's see how this is. It's mildly entertaining. I know all the characters,
It'll do.
It'll do. And I'm just still watching it because it's all right. I have at times kind of like fast forwarded through some parts where I'm like, this wasn't even in the webtoon and I know this isn't important.
I don't care about this.
Like I don't really care about her home life drama. Bring up the boys. Like,
So is this animated?
no, it's
No,
a K. No, K-dramas
K-drama.
are like they're like
Live action, baby.
I don't know how to explain it. They are
the fact that it started as a webtoon made me go like, okay, is it animated? But I guess
No, that's actually a crazy popular thing to do, is to take webtoons that popped off and turn them into live action TV shows.
yeah.
Really?
I mean, K-dramas specifically, yeah.
Yes, specifically.
Because
Okay.
most of them are like love triangle type shit, and
They're good. They're good.
They're
Dumb,
prime.
silly romance.
They're prime for the K-drama.
yeah, exactly.
maybe I've read like 2 webtoons ever, but I have the question for everyone else who probably has a good answer for this. If you were going to adapt a webtoon, which one would you pick?
Lore Olympus.
Animated or live action?
You pick.
Because it matters.
You pick.
Oh, I mean animated. Lore Olympus.
You gotta tell us what the thing is.
Well, I know what it is.
Everyone who's ever read a webtoon knows what it is.
Everyone knows what it is.
Right.
Bryce gets to be the straight man.
Bryce has never opened the app. It's fine.
You guys forget I have a PP.
What does that have to do with it?
Okay. Hold
You
on.
know what it means.
Men are
This
also
is-
on.
this
There's
is
so
gender
many
thinking.
genres. There's so many genres on webtoons, Bryce. This is so close-minded of you. There's action. There's horror. There's gore. There's sci-fi. So you're just assuming that all webtoons are romance, and this one is, but it's a romance about Greek people, specifically about like Hades and Persephone. It's a retelling of like their romance in a modern setting, but it also has a lot of really cool references and like a lot of like awesome myth accurate like references, and like there's actual Greek in it and stuff. It's so cool, so wonderful. I would love to see Rachel Smith be able to bring that to a cartoon. I think that'd be fantastic.
You wouldn't want that in live action? You don't want some
No,
sexy humans?
No, because she drew
wouldn't
it
work
all,
as
so I would
well.
love for her to have a hand in animating it.
Part of it is that it's so pretty, is part of what makes Lore Olympus so appealing.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I would love a omniscient reader or something. Would be sick. Would be sick as fuck. The gist of that, Bryce, for your knowledge. It's a webtoon about a guy who's like been reading this web novel for like years, and he gets to the final chapter, and like it ends, and then the world from the book starts being real from the beginning. But he's the only person who's read this web novel, so he's the only person who knows what's going to happen. So it's like him trying to like help survive the world and whatnot. It's pretty sick.
Interesting. And animated or live action?
I think I'd take it live action. They're probably making one right now, to be perfectly clear. I found out like a couple weeks ago that like a manga I read when I was like fucking 10 is getting an anime adaptation this year, which is fucking nuts because it's one of the most convoluted fucking mangas I've ever read in my life. And I read it when I was 10. So like it's called Siren, in case that rings a bell for anyone out there.
Siren Survived the Island? That's a good
I did
Korean
recommend
show.
that to someone the other day.
That is a good show. If Last Geek ever gets big, we're doing that. I would fucking
Do we each lead a team? Is that what it is?
I don't know. We'll figure out the deal.
Can
but
someone explain what it is for those of us who know,
Okay.
who don't know? I know, but just for other
Yeah.
people.
Siren Survived the Island was a South Korean show where they brought different groups of women from different like professions. Like they would have firefighters, they had cops, they had like CIA type, like the Secret Service. They had
Olympic athletes.
Yeah, they had athletes. They had like stunt people. So they had a bunch of different like kinds of people, and they put them in their own teams, and they basically played this intense capture the flag deal where a siren would go like first they like performed a thing to pick their base. Whoever like got to the island first would get first pick of which base they would get. And so there was like a really fancy building, and then like there was also tents, and like some of the buildings were in the center of the island, so a lot of people would be looking at you. And then there's tents that are way at the edge, and are people going to come after them? But then you're in a tent, so it's like you could have a bed, or you could be in a better or worst target. But anyway, so when the siren would go off, everyone would need to run to their base, put on this special like outfit that had a flag basically on their back, and if someone pulled your flag out, then you were out of the game, or at least out of that round. And then if the other team can grab your flag, then your whole team is out. And it was like hardcore. Like there were certain rules, like you couldn't like straight like punch, but it was like people essentially wrestling. These women essentially wrestling each other to try and get their flags, and people would like hide their flag of like, you know, people would like climb on the roof and like tape it up, and so there would be like people trying to climb up the side of the building while the other team is like trying to like shove them down. At one point they like had like a fire extinguisher that someone was like spraying.
They hose somebody with a fucking fire hose, which are really strong, which was awesome. And they do like survivor like challenges every like night to see who gets an advantage the next day. It's cool.
Yeah. Like yeah, they would be like, oh, whoever wins this challenge will get an oven so you can actually cook good food. Oh, and what's really cool about Siren Survive the Island is they had a store, and to get the currency to spend at the store, like you could buy a shovel that would help you like dig a trench so to make it harder to get, or you could buy food. And the way that you would get currency is everyone was wearing like smartwatches, and the amount of calories you burned would give you currency to spend. So it'd be like, oh, a shovel is 500 calories. So you might like run around and be like, okay, now I've got enough calories for this. And what was cool is the siren could happen at any time. Like, I think someone was like, oh, I have to go use the bathroom. And then the siren goes off, and then they just like, frick, I gotta run. They just start running back to their base. It's good. They only did one season. They should definitely do more, but it was on Netflix, so people should watch it. Backers, what's your answer?
For the webtoon I would live up? Yeah. So I know what I would pick, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to explain anything about it because I don't want to spoil anything, and like it is so fun what happens in like the first chapter that I'm just simply not going to spoil anything. But it's called Surviving Romance, which it was pretty big for a little bit. Okay, yeah. So it seems like Miranda has heard of it.
I haven't. I'm looking it up to add it to my list
Miranda,
right now.
It's got Becca's recommendation. Add to list. Add to cart.
If you do nothing else, please just read like the first chapter.
You got it, dude. I got a flight tomorrow that's 6 hours long. So
the whole thing is just like so good. But you know, I read a lot of trash in webtoons, and I was just like, oh, here comes another one. You know, I'm reading it. But it just goes a direction you don't expect, and I really enjoyed it. So that would be my one.
The art looks fantastic.
We love when that out. It does look really cute.
the title, like the cover alone, is like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
There was a thing I read a lot of, but at a certain point they like lost the plot, which was really disappointing, called Girls of the Wilds, which was just about like a fucking MMA high school for women.
Cool.
But then, like, you know, there's one guy who starts going there and it becomes a whole thing and it gets focused on the romance and less of the women beating the shit out of each other. But it has my favorite reaction image where, like, I use it all the time, where it's just a guy holding up a sign in a crowd full of people that says, "I love you, beat me up."
Oh my God. Speaking of,
you know,
oh, go ahead. You're doing it. Go for it. I'm not
You
in
can
it.
do it.
This part's cut out. Nope. You're going.
well, you know, sometimes when you stay on the internet long enough, sometimes it'll grow to disappoint you. But, you know, once upon a time, there were some really magical places on the internet. Back in the olden days of the 2000s, pre-2010s, I feel. Maybe. What?
Are you not going to
What
say
do
the
you
name
got?
of the podcast and introduce us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let her cook, Bryce.
I don't. It seemed like she was getting into the topic and she has to tell the people the name of the podcast first. Sorry.
This is why are we doing this? A podcast about whatever we want. Today we're talking about the internet and how it raised us.
So there, Bryce, in your face.
Hi,
name's
I'm
Beckers.
Bryce.
Oh yeah, duh.
And I'm Bryce.
Who am I?
I'm Miranda.
I'm Darian. Welcome. It's my first day.
We need the list. We need the list of names in order every
Yeah, we
time.
do.
We can't do it without the list.
I don't think Darian just had to say her own name.
That's true.
I
dropped
greatly
that.
prefer when we all just like kind of look at each other and try to feel out who should go. That's what I prefer by far.
I do like the tension that builds.
Yeah, I love that.
I was going like, is she gonna say her own name or we?
I knew she wasn't. I knew it wasn't happening.
Beckers was just like, that's Bryce. I'm Beckers.
Well, you see, I was doing the intro a little bit, and then the tracks got a little wobbly there. I had to try to bring the train back, and then it got interrupted a second time, and it was gone. That was it. Gone
I
forever.
vote for Darian to do it every time now.
even if
we
she's
live
not
for the
on the
chaos.
episode, we'll just have to be like, hey, you gotta join real quick and do the intro and then leave.
Go to the bathroom
need
at
the
work.
intro, yeah.
Then you just hear like, hey, this is why are we doing this? And there's just like a flush. One time at work,
Yeah, I'm excited how this connects.
we used to have these like things that pinned under your shirt that if someone called you, you just like hit the button and it answered the call. It was basically so that you could be hands-free more of the time, or like I think you could say a phrase and it would be hands-free, whatever. Anyway, I was in the bathroom and I got a call, but I was finished and I washed my hands really quick and then I answered it and I said, hey, pharmacy, whatever. And then the toilet flushed. It was an automatic flush.
No.
And I didn't realize it hadn't gone off yet because like I was done and I was off and it had been like a bit and then it went off. And I was like, yep. Her and everyone within like 6 feet of her just heard a toilet flush. So
Fantastic.
great.
Are those microphones that sensitive?
Well, they're it's like a phone on speakerphone. So like
Mm.
that's basically what they are.
Bryce, where did you like to spend time on the internet?
Well, okay. Are you asking where I like to spend time or which website basically?
Where did you start on the internet?
I mean, probably Neopets was probably the like. Okay, actually, no. I mean, maybe Neopets around that time, but I remember when I was super young, there was like this super kiddie chat room that I was in. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was basically like a big group, like, oh, it's a chat room for like 10 to 13-year-olds or something. And basically they had like rules of like, don't tell anyone where you are, don't blah, 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 you know, and they would have like a mod in there that like, if you said anything, you would get banned. And I remember because I like said where I lived and then immediately got banned, and they're like, you just cannot use the site again. And I tried to get my dad to write an email to them saying, please unban my son, but nothing. I just
Dang.
nope, I can't go back there. Good thing I don't know where it is because I can't even come back.
I mean, yeah, you're probably on their list. They have posters on the wall of all the people not allowed back on their website.
He told them that where he lives. You can't.
Don't let him back.
Yep.
Not allowed.
So definitely like that, and yeah, I definitely was an internet kid. Like the second that the internet was like a thing, that I am showing my oldness. We had the beeps in the boot, like can't
the
talk on the
dial-up?
phone. Yep, we
Hell
were.
yeah.
I think the first people in my town probably who had dial up, at least for sure. Like the first like family my age that had internet, and yeah, I remember the chat room. I remember, was it that? I think it was Neopets or something that you could fax them a permission slip and you could get like allowed to do something or something. I remember my parents faxing someone a permission slip.
What? From
Yeah,
Neopets?
Yeah, you could do that. You weren't allowed to access the Neo boards or have Neo friends or use Neo messages unless you were 13. So what most people did was lie about your age when you sign up for an account, but apparently Bryce did not, and instead made his poor parents fax in a permission slip so he could use the Neo boards.
That's
you know
incredible.
what? I respect that.
All of my ages are accurate on every site. I've never lied about my age on the internet.
Well,
relate.
that's helpful for when you lost your password to your Neopets account and you can't remember what birth year you put in because you lied.
I still can't get into my Neopets account, but that's not the reason why. I'm like, I wonder if I used like my parents' email or something. Like I don't know what. I can't get back into Neopets, but that's like obviously Neopets didn't have the level of like communication to allow it to like have any real effect on me other than like, man, these are cool games.
Oh, it sure did, Bryce. You weren't in the right spots. Let me tell you that.
I feel like there was community that was like that came around it, but maybe not like obviously the Neo boards and stuff like that. And at a certain point, the Neo boards were a little too toxic of being like, give me that paintbrush. Give me like I stayed away from the Neo boards because I'm like, there are people who are getting in trouble over here, and I'm not about that. I'm just gonna play with my Scorchio, and I'm gonna get my paintbrushes the legal way.
Bryce, are you familiar
Legal
with our mutual friend Rachel?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yeah,
Do you know how we met?
I'm gonna take a leap and say Neopets.
We met on Neopets. Yes.
That's crazy.
We
That's
were like
wild.
internet best friends on Neopets. And she moved in with me from Texas based off of our Neopets friendship.
That's fucking incredible.
I have heard that you guys became friends through that. Can you walk me through how, like, were you, like, where did that start?
Okay, so Neopets, right? There's like tons of stuff on it. A lot of the sense of community from Neopets comes through like guilds that you join and not just like talking to random strangers. Usually you like meet people, you might join their guild and then you talk in the guild boards instead of like out in the slums of the Neo boards. Plus every different Neo board had its own culture and subculture, you know? So like you had to choose the one that fit you the most, right? But more than that, there was this particular event that came around annually called the Altador Cup, which is like is based off the World Cup, like soccer, but instead of soccer or football, it's UU ball, which is a pet that's it curls up into a ball like an armadillo, and they score with it. It's like soccer. And then they've got like other games like Slushy Slinger and Make Some Noise, which is just hit keys really fast, which I hated that one. And then the last one was called Shootout Showdown. I'm big into Neopets. So there was this one and everyone joined a different team, and me and Rachel joined the same team. We were both Kreludor, which is Neobia's moon, if you weren't familiar. We were both Team Kreludor. And we were just really freaking into it. We made like offsite groups on Facebook and AIM and stuff so we could speak without being censored by the Neoboards where you can't say stuff like butt.
See, that's how I got kicked off of that chat room.
Yeah, like
I said, want to see my butt at my house? And they're like, nope,
the
you said where you
censorship
live.
is pretty
Here's my
extreme
house.
on the Neoboards because, they make, it's a prime breeding ground for child predators. So like what we did was we left the Neoboards with these adults we didn't know to talk to them a lot more and more freely.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
As
that's how
they do.
I got to know Rachel. I don't know. We just talked a lot and it was about Neopets and we were close in age and not everyone in that group was close in age. But we were about a year apart. And she wanted to go to a new college. And I was like, you should come to my college. And she did.
Can you walk me through when did this start? Because like
High school, I guess. I don't think because I was on Neopets a lot longer than that. But I think the Altador Cup started maybe freshman year of high school or
okay.
for me.
Because I'm picturing like 10-year-old, 13-year-old Beckers talk, but no, this is high school Beckers.
We were a little bit older when we met on Neopets. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But we did and further, we did like group Skype calls before Skype
Oh, cool.
passed away.
Right. Or tragically passed.
We like to do a lot in the evenings with, I guess it was almost like, but this was pre-Discord, but that's what we like to do was we had like 14 people in a Skype call just hanging out, doing whatever, talking about anything. And it was really nice and fun. And it was one of my earlier forays into internet community. Kids these days with Discord, they don't know what they have, how easy it is for them to make these spaces. We had to like cobble these different spaces together and use a bunch of different platforms because there weren't things that did what we needed in one place.
Yeah, y'all remember TeamSpeak?
Yeah.
And
like Ventrilo.
Curse and stuff?
Mhm.
What you really made me think of is that I was like there when Tumblr introduced mail. So you could like speak directly.
Damn.
Like,
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so Neopets was like, there was the little kid site, then Neopets, but the thing that raised me is a site called Star Wars Combine. I always wanted to play Star Wars Galaxies. If people aren't familiar, it was this official Star Wars MMO that basically, like a lot of like MMOs, World of Warcraft and stuff, it's like, oh, go fight stuff, blah, blah, blah. Star Wars Galaxies was like, hey, you can play this MMO and just run a droid repair shop and just be like, I'm basically like all of the economy was like player based of like, I'm going to go make droids. And then someone will say, I want to buy a droid. And then you'll sell them the droid instead of like, there's an NPC for that. And there's probably like some level of NPCs for that. I've never played the game. This is all dream. Like I read about it. I'm like, this is so cool. I did not have a computer that could run that. And I certainly didn't have internet fast enough, and I didn't have money for the game. But I was very into Star Wars, and going through like Star Wars websites, I found out about Star Wars Combine, which was basically like, oh, Star Wars Galaxies, but if it was like bad and free. And people just being like, we also like Star Wars and would like to make our own, but we do not have the resources of whoever made Star Wars Galaxies. So I joined that. And yeah, in the same way that kind of like Neopets had, but this was a little bit like more intentionally trying to build communities. It was like kind of RP focused and somewhat, but like, because it was the weirdest thing because like obviously they were trying to make like a Star Wars Galaxies, but they were not like the greatest programmers ever. So they were like, okay, we're going to handle some of the stuff through message boards where people are just role playing, and then the game masters would be like, yeah, that was a good role play. We're gonna give you guys the credits for that. Or that guy died. Yeah, he's dead. Like you go in going like, hey, depending on how this goes out, I sign up for this to actually account for things. Otherwise, you could use the very basic interface to essentially fly a ship, and for the longest time that is all you could do. At a certain point they allowed you to like build buildings, and that was very janky and basic. Now they've graduated to like there is a website that you can still fly your ship and build buildings and get rent, but there's not combat. I don't think they haven't made a lot of progress in the, let's say 25 years that I've been aware of it.
This website still exists.
Oh yeah,
people are still working on it.
Yeah, I bet I could log into it right now and pull up my account. Which my first character was just named, I think, Bryce. And so that like I was just like, yep, this is the account that, you know, I'm just to use my name.
Bryce had no internet safety as a child.
No.
Bryce did not see that episode of Degrassi.
Didn't have that. I was like, I put in my real information, and if I need to, I'll have my parents send a fax. And so there were IRC chat rooms for all the different things, and you could join like guilds, essentially, which would be like, oh, we're the crime organization, we're the Black Sun, we're, you know, people like role playing as different like in-universe organizations, or they'd make their own. And yeah, people would talk a lot in IRC, and then maybe depending on the communication, you might move to ICQ. Like I had a few of these people in ICQ that I was more familiar with. Otherwise, I would talk to everyone in like my guild or the main chat in IRC. And those people had like the biggest impact on me, more than the kids in my school and stuff. Like I don't know 90% of these people, but there's definitely like I have images in my head kind of based on what their RP was like. There was a guy that I don't think I like heard most of these people's voices ever. Though they heard mine. I'll get into that in a second. But there was a guy in like Australia or something that seemed real like he would talk tough, and I'd be like, I'm trying to get tough like you, and he's like, okay, here's what you do: put up your mattress on the side of your wall and punch it, and that's how you can work out. And I'm like, okay. And then I'd like, hey, my knuckles are bleeding. He's like, you're doing it wrong. What do you like? Send me a picture. What send him a picture of the blood on my mattress. He's like, yeah, you're doing it wrong. Here's the way to do it. And
what the hell?
And there is a one person I have on Facebook, person who played a like space pirate lady in Star Wars Combine, whose name is Morgan. She lives in Australia. I did ask her once of like, if I ever come to Australia, can I crash on your couch? She's like, yeah, sure, if you don't do it too long. I think most of these people, they weren't like full adults unless they were like the people running the thing, and even then maybe they were on the younger side. A lot of the people that I talked to were probably like 16 and stuff, and I was like 12, 13. And so I had very much like little brother energy of just like this kid is annoying, but he is there every day trying to talk to us.
He's got the spirit.
Yeah. So one of the things I learned about, because someone else on Star Wars Combine did it, was you could download this software that would allow you to broadcast your essentially audio, like your microphone and whatever you're playing on your computer, and then people using Winamp could tune into the server you're broadcasting and listen. And so I basically was like, hey guys, I'm going to do this thing, and did like essentially like a little radio deal where I would play music that I had downloaded from like Kazaa, and then would go like that. Hey guys, that was the latest like song, you know, and so I had talked about on like last episode about how like I would do these like things from my grandparents of like, oh, I'm doing Super Bryce and Hardware Man like stories deal. Like that also I would read some of my poems or stuff in between and then be like, anyway, back to the song. And then yeah, there was a little bit of like I was kind of talking to myself, but I would know like sometimes people would respond in the chat of like, hey, you know, here's what or answer to a question, I would say, in the Star Wars Combine IRC. At one point in the Star Wars Combine, I decided to join the toughest crime group in the game, and then they immediately killed me, and so I had to make a new character.
Aww.
And so I have which yeah, there's a lot of things with that, but I also sent someone $50 to get a ship that they shouldn't have been selling to me and I shouldn't have bought because you should not have been doing real money. And I basically was told if I had not gotten killed, they probably would have banned me, but they're like, well, he's already dead. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the stuff. So I rolled a new character.
What I'm really hearing is you've been podcasting since infancy.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. Kind of like in different forms. Yeah, kind of. But yeah,
that's incredible.
It was well, to a certain, that was both podcasting and streaming because it was a deal of like it was just my voice, but I was broadcasting out live that I could like talk and people would respond in the IRC chat and be like, I would go like, oh, I don't know if anyone's listening, and then someone would be like, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, cool. Be like, hey, you know, Schwartz 79, great to have you. And then I played, you know. Awesome. A Fall Out Boy song or something.
Okay, you said you sent somebody money. Was it like through PayPal or did you use like Bitcoin or something?
No,
like how
it was PayPal.
Pre-Bitcoin,
this was before Bitcoin.
It was a Western Union form, actually.
Bitcoin has existed on the internet for a long time, you guys.
So, okay. There was a guy. So basically, there was the in-game currency, but then there was like a outside game currency that like doing things for the game would get you this special currency that you could then like use to, like trade in ships or something. So like, oh, if you like volunteered or whatever, they might give you this special currency, and then if you get enough of it, you can get a really fancy ship. Well, one of the admin apparently decided that they needed money, so they were like, hey, do you want a ship but can't get the money for it in game? If you send me $50, I'll get you the ship. And I'm like, oh, I want a ship.
Oh my
God. And he's like, okay, well, so I can't actually give you the ship, but I'll give you the currency and then you can just redeem the ship. I'm like that, like set off alarm bells for me, but I had already given him the money. So I'm like, okay. And then I redeemed it, and then after I had already died, it was like, oh, then apparently he was not supposed to do that.
I feel like the fact that they were gonna like be mad at you when you were a child who'd been tricked by probably an adult is crazy.
To be fair, we were all dumb teenagers. That it's just like, you know. But yeah, when they killed my character, I like cried for a day.
That's valid.
I was the
valid.
I was the highest level human in the game at the time. There was a leaderboard of like XP, and I was top of the
brutal.
Yeah. Should I log into Star Wars Combine right now and see how Jack Armstrong is doing? My new
Jack Armstrong
character.
Wow. Hey, I think that name stayed significant to you for some reason.
If that came before or after.
It came after.
It had to be. Wait, really?
Yeah.
So that's a recent character.
No, I can see. Let me see if I can see. I've just logged in. Go into character. I have 3 unassigned skill points. I'm level 19.
Wow.
Standing about 6 foot with black hair and bulging muscles is my description.
Great. Fantastic.
Do
I see we're living a fantasy here.
Have you guys heard of the video game Freedom Fighters?
Yes.
There's like
No.
I have my profile picture is the main character from that game.
Incredible.
Gosh, does this have information about when I've got all my stats? Edit profile? I wonder if this would say when I was made. I don't know. I can look into it, but yeah, that is like not like I talk to those people so much, like literally like got life advice from them, would be like, hey, this stuff is going on at school. They're like, oh, you know, it's you do your best, blah blah blah. I did the like radio thing for them. I you know, have at least one of them on Facebook.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that 1,000%. Like I would argue that the people in this game had a greater effect on me than the kids at my school, my parents. You know, my parents were very hands off, especially at that time, that it would just be like, okay, I'm going to go on the computer and I'm going to go talk to these people. And when they like took away the internet from me for a while, I was like, no, I've got responsibilities. I'm like the second I'm in charge. Like I got to make sure this stuff is good in my group and stuff.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, I was the one of the highest level humans, because basically one of the few things you can do is fly a ship. So I'd fly from one side of the galaxy to the other side of the galaxy, back and forth to get XP.
Just farming levels.
Yeah.
Excellent. And it worked.
Yeah, I've maxed out piloting speed so I can do it quicker so that I can, you know, get the XP for it. I'm so curious if this has made any progress really since I played forever ago. When was the last time this was updated? Okay, there's a post from year 27, day 59. So that means that the game has been running for 27 years.
Holy
Damn.
crap.
I might have joined right in like year 1. And so this post is 3 days old. It says database maintenance. Wow. So people are still doing something. Apparently there was a race that happened. I don't know.
Wow.
Things are moving and grooving over there.
Yeah, I should make you guys sign up
expands.
you guys should sign up for Star Wars Combine and play with me. You guys can join the 10 Loss. What group am I in? The 10 Loss organization?
It's about as likely as us signing up to play Two Town for Beckers.
Yep.
Except Beckers has bullied me into doing it, and she won't play Final Fantasy 14 with me.
Well,
I don't have time in my life to bring on more internet communities. I have enough
for
now.
real.
To be fair, at least your internet community is just us, but somewhere else.
If I could choose one game, it wouldn't be Toontown, which was an amazing game, but it wouldn't be Toontown. It would be Puzzle Pirates. But unfortunately, that game is well and truly dead.
Puzzle Pirates?
Puzzle Pirates.
Never heard of this.
It was a game where you were a little pirate and you sailed. you can work for the Navy to earn money, and you go sail on ships. You defend against pirates that attack the Navy ships or whatever. There were different games that you played, like sword fighting, sailing, bilging, construction, whatever. Different games with different puzzles, and they're different, like little puzzles, like Candy Crush style things. But each game was a little different. Like I'd never really liked the sailing game, so I didn't do that one. I was primarily a bilge gamer, which I'm pretty sure is almost identical to Candy Crush. Whatever, but like there's that's how you could earn money like that. Or you could make your own pirate crew and you could earn enough money to build ships. You could have a house on your island. You like grow and whatever, and then there were different crews and you could battle each other, whatever. It was honestly an incredible game and community, and the way that combat worked was puzzles. And I love that.
That's fantastic.
That's really fun, actually.
But there's no one to play Puzzle Pirates with. Ask me how I know. It's because it's like on Steam and I installed it, and there's like 14 people in the world playing Puzzle Pirates. So there's no people to sword fight with.
I mean, if we got enough people, we could sword fight with you.
I kid you not. I entered Puzzle Pirates because I was like, this is nostalgic. I want to do a couple puzzles or whatever. And I instantly got invited to a pirate crew from one of the remaining 14 people. And he promoted me to second in command. And I was like, Doug, I'm not sure you want to do this. And he's like, it's fine. And I was like, oh, you're just going to replace me in a couple days when I never log on again.
Did I tell you that's how I got trapped into being way too important in a mobile game a while back? Did I tell you guys about this saga?
I believe you had, but you haven't told the podcast.
Let me tell you for the content, because this was fucking nuts. Okay, so I play mobile games all the time. Especially like at my last job. It was really bad because most of my job was like paperwork and then like waiting for something to happen. So there was just a lot of time where I was doing jack fucking shit in an office I had all to myself with screens hiding what I was doing at my desk. So I could do whatever I wanted. Like there was a point when I first started where I was like, hey, I feel bad because I'm not doing anything. And my boss is like, part of your job is to entertain yourself. And I was like, fucking okay, man. Like, so that's what I did. But so I started playing this game. I kept getting ads for it, like you do every once in a while. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try it. And it's called like Whiteout Survival.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Stop. Oh my gosh.
I see ads for that all the time.
I downloaded Whiteout Survival and I was like, oh, this is fun. Like this is just a chill little game, whatever. And then like I joined a guild because that's what you do. That's like basically to play, you have to be in one. So I joined one and like immediately got
like
promoted.
An ad already almost.
I swear to God. So I got immediately promoted. And like I was like, oh, like promoting you to do this. And then he just fucking left. And what I learned from people like on the Reddit is like, this is how they fucking get you, okay? Is they have like mods or whatever play the game, they'll promote you up and they'll put you in charge and then you're fucking stuck. So what happened is I became like the leader of like a really good guild. And so I was like setting alarms on my phone so that like when raids would happen, I could organize the team to make sure all the shit got sent out in time. And like people were messaging me privately being like, hey, we need to do this for the guild. And I was in a message with all the guild leaders of the fucking server we were on. Like there was of all of us to like figure out our alliances and who would get to do what. And there's like a system in the game where it's like, there are like a bunch of factories you can get and the factories give you bonuses and they're all like lettered. And the way they would do it is like, you would, based on your ranking in the like thing, the guild leader, like the squad leaderboard, that would be the order in which you like picked which like fortress you were going to claim for that battle, so that the big people would be each get their own and the little people would be screwed. So that's what we did, so that we didn't have infighting amongst like the main guild leaders, so we could have like a cooperative server essentially, so we could all still play and have a good time. But it became like a full-time fucking job where I was like constantly messaging people, having to deal with like real life behavioral issues, but where I was like, I cannot fucking do this anymore. I was like, this has become too much responsibility. You guys just have to fucking handle this yourself. But I had someone message me like, I don't know, like a couple weeks or like a month or two after I'd been like, I can't do this anymore, being like, hey, I just want you to know we still talk about how you were the best guild leader ever in our guild. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
We still think about you.
It was nuts. Like,
damn.
I hope if you die, they like show up to your funeral and be like,
she was the
best guild leader we ever had.
I was in
this silly little
with
mobile
the Clash
game.
of Clans clan like that in college, and
I believe that.
we all know how Clash of Clans could be. I was in deep. I wasn't the leader, but I'm glad I wasn't, because like it was one of those places where I was like, okay, the first 8 hours you have to use your first attack on your assigned target, and they would send out these spreadsheets ahead of time, and then after that, depending on how the board lay, they would assign second targets and you had to be there, and you would get kicked out if you didn't do everything you were supposed to. Like you had to be there at certain time. You had to set alarms. It was
so
very
the same
important.
with Whiteout Survival. I was like, all right, like what time works best, because like you're putting a server with people from different time zones. We're like, we got to figure out which time zone works for when we're gonna, and then like you get to pick from like 3 time zones, and then you have to like make it work for everyone in your fucking guild to like set their alarm. Was like, okay, I'm gonna do this at 4 a.m. my time, so you can do it at a reasonable time your time, and da da da. It was ridiculous.
You guys are playing way more intense games than I play on my phone. I play things like Pocket Frogs and like 8-Bit City, or I think it's just called Bit City, actually. All games that like don't have social aspects. Like
Miranda,
Mhm.
next time you're gonna go hard in a game, call me up.
Okay. The game I play the most on my...
I want to be there for your addiction.
The game I play the most on my phone is called AFK Journey.
Fantastic.
And you may have heard of like AFK Arena. This is the like RPG version of that.
Hell yeah.
But it's like straight up, it has a story. It has like a really fucking good story. And like they release a new season like every fucking 4 months, and it's a whole new story with new characters and shit. It's actually really fucking good. But there's just also a guild aspect, and my guild is in like the top 10 of our server. So I am in there every day doing my dailies to make sure we're at the top.
Didn't you post on like Blue Sky of like, I need someone to play this game so I can talk about the story with them?
Yes! It's so good! Dude, I'm like... Last season, they headshot a child out of nowhere. Last season, they just killed a child. This season, somebody's like, we found out such and such is on the other side of the war. He was in love with the Romeo and Juliet type shit. But JK, actually, Juliet is the evil goddess of the clan that he's against. But she fell in love with him. And then he was like, hey, yo, no, you lied to me. That's fucked up. And she was like, well, bitches attack. They attack. Her guys slit his fucking throat in an incredibly graphic cutscene, and then she tries to bring him back to life, but that's not possible in this world. It's fucking nuts. Like, it's awesome.
Holy shit. I didn't expect such a story from...
Bro, I love mobile gaming when people take it seriously. Like, I want, like, all of my little visual novels that are, like, real visual novels that are fucking crazy and shit. I just want them on my phone. Just put it on my phone. Please. And then don't charge me $7 to fucking play a scene. Just make it a normal ass game. I'll pay you $40. Just give me the damn game. I got us off topic. I'm sorry.
I realized that I have had a precursor. Like when Beckers was talking about her thing, she said just like something, and it like clicked a memory in me that I was like, I have a precursor to Star Wars Combine. Do you guys know what Zork is? Okay, so
that sounds familiar.
So Zork is one of the most famous text-based games.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yep.
It had like the famous like you were in a dark cave, you're about to be eaten by Gru.
Oh my gosh, I did this.
Yeah, so like
I didn't know what I was doing because my brother got me into it. He like set it up for me and he was like, here, you can try this.
Huh.
He was my gateway.
Zork, it was all it's that it would pop up text and say like, here's you're in a field, there's a deal, and then you could type like go north, and then you would go north and then say here, okay, now you're here.
I did this.
And
this is so
and
fun.
different things. And so, like I said, my parents had a lot of computers, but they were all very bad computers. And I very much wanted to play Star Wars games, but I could not play Star Wars games on the things I had. So I found out about a Star Wars MUD, which is basically if you took Zork, the text-based like stuff, and combined it with an MMO, where it would be like, oh, you go to this deal and there is a bantha there, and you could say attack bantha, and then you would get in this fight with bantha where you would exchange like attack. It would be like you swing and miss, it attacks you deals 10 damage, you swing back, you shoot your gun. And that, but also like other people could be there and they could also be attacking the bantha, or they could be trying to attack you in different areas. And so I played that a bunch, and one of the things I remember about that is that my brother also played it, and he got a house like with like a spaceship and like a space dock in it, and it was real like cool. You could store stuff, and I was like, oh man, you got all this cool stuff. Well, I want to be able to like have a house and stuff, but he had like way more money, and it was like, oh, it would be cool to share that. But the only way you could share stuff is if you got married, and you and your partner could share the deal. So my brother married me in the Star Wars mud so that we could share the house and spaceship.
Incredible.
That was nice of him.
That was nice of him. My brother would have told me to fuck right off.
Yeah.
And as I Googled, Star Wars Mud has a website still. So I think that you could presumably still log in and do the Star Wars Mud.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Also, Becker's, based on the way you're talking, I figured Puzzle Pirates was going to be like something super old, but no, it's on Steam. You could literally
She
like...
said that.
I told you can still get it on. It was much older than Steam, but you can get it on Steam.
Yeah,
They've
it's
added
like,
it.
oh, there's people, like someone just posted a review for it on November 30th, 2025.
Does it say? No one's in here. Help me.
It said last night I had a nightmare that Puzzle Pilots finally got a graphics update, and it was all AI slop. Please never do that. Keep the game the way it is. Thank you. That is a weird ass thing to leave as a review, but
That's
I guess
fantastic.
when you've got 5 people playing, that's the kind of reviews
They're
you get.
impassioned.
Yeah, they are. They care.
Beckers, how many friend points would I get if I got enough people back to do a big Puzzle Pirate stream? If I got like 30 people to all log in
I
at
would
the same
want to
time.
have 2 competing crews.
Okay, that's we
Done.
get like
How
You
thirty
get all
big
the
is a
friend
crew?
points.
Just
What? No, wait. I need her. How many puzzle friend points?
All of the friend points.
Ooh,
All of them.
maybe I'll
Should
finally
he go
like.
from a to a 10?
I mean, it's not meant. It's supposed to be. It's like an MMO almost. Like it's not supposed to be like a one-time thing.
Well,
it's supposed to be
well,
like grinding.
I can't commit to like constantly, but I could get enough people for a stream, and then you can do the thing that you do. It'll be like, well, since we're playing, maybe we don't stop playing. That you
Since
do.
we're playing.
How often
Let's
does
do
that
it
work? That
forever.
never works.
We're already here.
I feel like that would work more often if I wasn't like on to the next thing. I feel like if we just did like 10 fast food simulator streams at the same time, it'd be like, sounds good, let's keep going.
Yeah,
I'd
I was
be
really
there.
hoping everyone would stay on Fast Food Simulator.
I just
go
had to
back.
go do homework.
Is it my turn?
And yeah, Miranda, what do you got? Where were you
Okay.
on the internet? what
Darian,
raised
you're the
you?
best host. I think I need to
thank
retire.
you. I've done it so often. I've had a lot of practice. So like,
she's great. Leave her alone.
shut
Anyway,
up, Bryce. Let me grow into it, okay? I'm just a little guy.
hashtag let Darian host. Anyway, so first off, have any of you ever heard of Xanga?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Did
They
you
make
build?
games.
Did you? Well, no, not that. That's not what I mean. Not with an E,
No.
with an A.
Oh.
Xanga. This is like Xanga and GeoCities, if that means anything to you, were around at the same time. And these were like places where you could build your own website, essentially. This is where I think we're
Oh,
close enough in
interesting.
age that this should mean something to you. But you know those like little like pre-GIF GIFs that are just like glitter around the edge and some
Yes.
goof-ass phrase? That's
Yes.
what Xanga was for. You just made your
Cool.
website, you posted about yourself, and you put your fucking Xanga GIFs on it. And all the like cute little Barbie girls with the glitter lipstick and shit. Like that was incredibly Xanga. That was my first like internet community. I wasn't super involved, but I need to bring it up because not enough people know about Xanga. But no, my first big community was the website from hell. Okay, Habbo Hotel.
I've
So,
heard of that.
A place filled with predators. So I met like a lot of people through that website. Essentially, you play as like a little like 8-bit type character. You design your hair and your outfits. You can like, everybody gets a hotel room, so you can like design your own room. And then there are shared spaces like the library or the rooftop pool or whatever. And then you could go into any room you had like an invite for that was public. So there'd be ones that were like, this one is an Italian restaurant. That's how this person set up their room and stuff like that. To leave out all the sad stuff.
Oh my god.
The okay stuff from that is that I have a friend I still know from that we're friends. Like I had that website when I was like, God, I must have been like 10, 12 tops. And we are still friends on Instagram. Like we still message each other when we like post stuff to our stories. We'll message each other about it. She like lives in Canada. She's incredibly cool. Everyone else I met there was insane, but she was awesome.
All these stories be like, I picked out this one person and they're my best friend for life. The rest of that was very problematic.
Yes, well that's what internet safety is about, and that's what that Degrassi episode is about. Okay, go watch the first episode of Degrassi Next Generation. It'll teach you everything you need to know. That's the episode where Emma falls in love with a guy online and then finds out he's a grown adult and she's like a freshman in high school. Anyway,
fantastic.
And she almost gets kidnapped. Oh. But no, otherwise, like, Tumblr raised me for two or three very specific reasons. One, I've had, like, to be a little personal, I've had PTSD since I was a child. And so I used to not be able to sleep, like, at all. Like, I still have trouble sleeping now, but it's, like, mostly dealt with. But when I very specifically remember there was a month where I had a nightmare every single night. The same nightmare every single night. But my nightmares were never about, like, the trauma. They were just fucking nightmares. Like, and I, like, some guy who I went to school with who I probably spoke to, like, 3 times, legitimately is the entire reason I, like, stopped having that nightmare and could finally sleep again. Like, just them, like, reaching out, being like, hey, like, I've been seeing you've been struggling and I just want to talk to you and maybe we'll, like, get through it together. And he, like, got me out of that period of my life and, like, got me better, like, made me feel better. And we never talked about it in person ever. Like, it happened over summer vacation one time and we just never spoke of it in real life.
Oh, wow.
Like, and then I was moderately Tumblr famous in a very specific community. It was the Durarara. No, it was the Durarara, which is an exceptional anime. Please watch it. Role play community. So
excellent. We are the same.
Yes.
Miranda, don't worry. I role-played Warrior Cats on the Neo boards.
Let's fucking go. So
wait, is Becker's the most furry of all of us then?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
she's even if without that information, I probably would have already said yes.
I mean, I guess she does play the bear. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's been right before you all this time.
Whole time.
So, if you know anything about Durarara, one of the main characters' names is Masaomi, and basically he's just like a very troubled child. And so, but he has like an interesting backstory and his life plays out in a really interesting way. And so what I ended up doing was like aging him up a little bit in universe. And I had like a role play partner who played like my main ship with them. And then there was like, Durarara had this thing called like alternates where they would release like different versions of the main characters as like album covers because they did a lot of music for that show, and then like just a bunch of music CDs like based off the vibe of the show, which actually all whipped pretty hard. But so somebody made one of the like an account that was the alternate for Masaomi, and that person's name was Linda. That person and I basically raised each other. Like we were so enamored of like our ship that we were like constantly doing role plays about it, just like telling stories, like sending each other like headcanons about like our characters' relationship and stuff like that, and then like them in canon. And that was like, that started like probably 15 years ago. And then like, so we did that, and then eventually I like stopped being on Tumblr as much after like the purge, because a lot of people stopped being on Tumblr after the purge. And by that, I mean, they passed the law that says if you post child porn, you'll go to jail. And most websites were like, hey, we gotta stop that. And then we forgot about that this year, but that's not important.
Well, I thought it was specifically that. Well, okay, you may be talking a different thing, but I remember there was a deal where Tumblr said no graphic thing at all.
Yes, and that's why. Yeah, they passed the child porn law, and because of that, they were like, the best way we can deal with this is to ban everything. Because it's harder to filter out normal, like non from child with like basic filters, which is what they have access to. So,
as an outside person, the way it seemed to me was they were trying to get like bought by another. They were like,
well, they did get bought. They got bought by Yahoo.
Yeah,
and then Yahoo tried to take the porn away.
That was the first purge. There were many purges in Tumblr.
Yeah. And like part of the reason that all happened is because that law was passed. Like it made things very complicated legally. But anyway, so the purge happens. I don't really I fall out of touch with the people I was like friends with. And then like 3 or 4 years later, I think, someone reaches out to me on Instagram and they're like, hey, is this Miranda from Your Username Here? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, this is like Lynn, which is what I had always called her because that's like, we weren't super into giving away our real names back then. Like I went by like Mai back in the like online and she was Lynn. And she's like, yeah, this is Lynn, da 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 da. I like hope this isn't weird, but I wanted to reach out to you because like you were such a big part of my life growing up, and like I just was wondering if maybe we could be friends again. And I was like crying. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, we could be friends again. So like all throughout college and like the last 10 years, we've been really good friends. And last year I went to her wedding.
Oh my God, that's
and
awesome.
It was literally the first time we had ever seen each other in person was me going to her wedding.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it how it turns out Miranda has a trend of like
I do,
going
actually.
to see people for the first time at big things.
I'm very willing to do shit. I have no impulse control when it comes to meeting people I'm friends with, even if I met them online. Yeah, so I was like very famous in Tumblr for like that community because I don't know, I'm good at it. I'm a good writer, and I was always online. Because I was a terrible college student. And then my other, like, mildly famous in Tumblr, 2009, Star Trek alternate original series came out. AKA the one with Chris Pine. And I'm obsessed with that movie. I have a tattoo from that movie. I'm fucking so into it. And so what I went online, I made a bunch of, like, graphics and, like, little stories about these characters and just like slices of like small bits of like Tumblr sized fan fiction. And then I did so much fucking like edits and art graphics of all this stuff. So I had like a couple posts that ended up blowing up. One wherein I cast each of the members as someone in Fast and the Furious. And then there was at the time, this is incredibly niche fandom history. Hope you're ready. If you've seen Star Trek AOS, you know that Karl Urban plays Bones in those movies. Yeah. Karl Urban also plays Lieutenant whatever the fuck in the Doom movie, which is the adaptation of the one with The Rock. It's a really bad movie. So it became like a thing on like Tumblr that like, because at the end of the Doom movie, essentially Karl Urban's character becomes what we think to be as immortal, most likely, via like contracting the Doom virus and not being a piece of shit. Like, the basic premise of that movie is like, if you're a bad person and you get the Doom virus, you turn into a demon, and if you're a good person and you get the Doom virus, you're immortal now. So there was like a big headcanon that went around that was like, oh, Doom from that movie is the same guy in Star Trek, just like with a new identity he's adapted. And I had like
that is some supernatural like Doctor Who level of like bullshittery.
Yeah, this was that time.
Yeah, that was
to be
Tumblr.
clear.
This was that time.
That was Tumblr.
That's what we did.
Excuse me? It's literally
I was like, that makes absolute sense.
That's complete sense. I essentially ended up writing what was like
Crossovers
the Bible
everywhere.
of that like headcanon. So anytime somebody was like, hey, what is this about? I keep seeing this thing about like, and what it would be is like how you would tag it is like Reaper #bones. Because it was Lieutenant Reaper was like his name. So I had like the post that was like, oh, what's this? And they would just send people the post that I had made that was like, here's the explainer. Like,
Check it out here in the little X.
and so I had like had so many conversations with people about Star Trek AOS and like our ships and our like the things we loved about it. By the way, I'm a Bones Kirk shipper. That's me, baby. And I had people like, I had friends I had met who sent me Christmas cards for years. Like, so yeah,
That's
Okay.
phenomenal.
that was my foray into being really popular on the internet.
I was most popular when I ran a Altador Cup predictions website, and I was
I
actually
fucking love
paid.
that.
I was paid by someone to move my predictions onto their website.
Oh wow.
That's
That's fucking
incredible.
sick. That's fucking awesome, dude.
That was my claim to fame. And people were like, they were excited to see them. It was
It is wild.
nice. Yeah. That was my most famous thing, I think.
Despite all of these things that I've done on the internet, I would never claim to have been popular.
Yeah, I don't think
It
I
was
ever
a
got
weird time.
popular either.
Listen, if you pick a niche small enough,
Pick a
it's easy to
community.
get popular. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You pick your
my
weird
wasn't
niche, you
small
can blow
enough.
up. There it is. What's your niche?
Well, I mean, I was also in the roleplay communities, as one does.
As one does.
What's your role play? What was the
Well, so in Tumblr, I started out in like a Kingdom Hearts roleplay because that was my
Eh.
primary obsession through like middle and high school for a lot of reasons, but primarily because it was like the game that I played the whole time my parents were breaking up. So like it was like my best friend for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, it started in Kingdom Hearts roleplay, and then I moved into Portal 2 roleplay, where I roleplayed a human version of Wheatley.
Hell yeah, dude.
Not human, actually. It was like very specifically like, I am still a robot. I am not a human. But yeah, I had a few friends in the Portal 2 roleplay community. Most of them were other women playing the male bots. It was very cool. Yeah. I don't know. Mostly Tumblr though.
I had at some point also a Merlin roleplay blog.
Merlin was, see, and the thing with Tumblr too is like I spent so much time on that website, but not all of it was like roleplay. Like
Yeah.
I would just spend hours on that site just scrolling. And so I was aware of all of the fandoms like Merlin, like Supernatural
Whoolock.
and Doctor Who and Sherlock and
yeah.
all of the other, major fandoms that existed primarily on that website and all the discourse, but also the memes that evolved from Tumblr. Like, do you remember, like goats, they crave that mineral?
Yes, of course.
That originated from Tumblr.
Somebody sent me a post the other day in my Discord that was like, I fucking hate that I was on Tumblr during this era, because not once do I go outside when it's windy do I not think it's fucking windy. And it's the fucking post with the fox and all its fur blowing.
Oh my
And
god!
I'm the same way.
And the dog and the wolves howling at the moons. Do you remember Moon?
Moon.
Oh my god! There was some magic on Tumblr. Okay.
It's really funny because so many times now, it really feels like 80% of meme accounts are just posting Tumblr screenshots.
Yeah. That was for a very long time. That's where they like all came from. I'm like, losers.
Yeah.
You guys don't want to just get onto the site and
Like,
dip
you guys
your
are
toes
years
in?
behind.
yeah.
I have just realized that behind you, is that a fucking Black Butler poster?
It sure as hell is.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
My baby. Big fan there. Yeah, it's
That's so
fabric
good.
too. Very durable.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I don't know. I have a lot of posters.
I have that, but from the water scene from Final Fantasy X.
Hell yes.
With Yuna and Titus when they're like in the, and he like hugs her from behind. Yeah,
oh
brother.
my god.
I love how weirdly I'm somehow the normie of us and have managed to assemble what seems like people who just were passing each other in the internet hallways that like, oh yeah, we all were there, and I'm just like I was over on Dead Journal, the one that was too cool for Live Journal.
Oh my fucking god.
And I just logged in. It's still there.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of this podcast has been me going like, is that thing still up? It is? Holy shit.
That's like, did you guys like ever engage with Quizilla, but not just the quizzes?
No. What do you mean?
Just the quizzes.
Quizilla was like a website where they had like a bunch of like different random personality quizzes. It was all the most insane fandom-y silly shit ever. Yeah. But they also had like forums. And they also had, like, you could just make posts. So I remember there's, like, a story I read there that, like, impacted the way I wrote for, like, 5 straight fucking years. Like, I have not seen it since the first time I read it, but it never left my mind.
Okay.
And it's so odd. Well, because you're thinking, like, Live Journal and whatnot is a huge fandom website. Yeah. It's a huge place where people post fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, I have a Live Journal. Literally the only thing I used my Live Journal for was to post recommendations of fanfics of Mike and Harvey from Suits.
That's a good show.
Wow.
That's all I used it for. Is I was like, you know what? The people need to know which ones are good. So I would like make a post and do like post the summary and then like my like short review of it and be like, read it for sure. So I'd post like anything that I thought was like 4 stars or above.
That's fantastic.
Dude, the Suits community is wild. And I'm gonna take this podcast not safe for work for 10 seconds to say the Suits fanfiction community is what connected me to like safe, sane, consensual BDSM. Because the people writing for Suits are living it. Like you can tell you're like, that's a person who does this in real life when you read that shit. Like,
you know, I guess if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be the lawyer community, right?
I don't know. There is a level of like, I feel like writing it is a level of like aspirational. Like I wish, like the 50 Shades of Grey person. I'm like, I bet that person's never actually had good.
No, exactly, and that's why I'm telling you. You can tell the difference. Like you can read something and be like, that person knows what they're talking about because they're like following the like safe, sane, consensual rules, or they're like having their characters learn about it while they do it in a way that you're like, this person has experienced at least some of this or like talked about it with people who've experienced some of it. Like this is like real. Like it's crazy. Like
I figured you were gonna be like, oh, they're talking about like rope tying in a way that's like they've done that in the way that like I've done lock picking. So whenever I see like someone pick a lock on the show, I'm just like, they don't even have something to tension it. How are they?
No.
They're not even. That's just like I've done just enough to be like, I know when that's not right. That was that. Well, I think we have been going for quite a while. So I think our host should maybe. Wait, have you even gone, Darian?
Yeah, sort of
here and there.
Okay.
I don't actually have. I mean, Tumblr was, I guess, the primary one I spent most of my time on, but like also like I didn't really engage in like social aspects of the internet very much. I was a little bit late to the internet game, but I did play like a lot of Flash games, and I was very active on Club Penguin. Like that was probably my internet game.
I knew
and when
somebody
they had
had to be in Club Penguin.
Yeah, I was all over Club Penguin. I'm still a little penguiny these days, so
We should get Teddy on the podcast sometime, and you guys can talk about Club
Teddy
Penguin.
and I have talked about Club Penguin before.
Was it on the content? You
I
maybe
think
talked
it might
about
have been in Ready Set
Gamecast.
Gamecast. Yeah.
No one's listening to that anymore. Bring it back. Anyway, well, does the host want to close out the podcast?
I guess everybody's sick of talking to me and telling me all of their deep, dirty internet secrets. Just kidding. Most of it was pretty tame. We'll get to the deeper stuff much later.
Keep listening. It's coming.
Yeah, eventually one day you'll know every secret that we didn't know we needed to tell our friends. That's part of the fun. Till next time, thanks for listening to Why Are We Doing This? I've been Darian.
I've been Bryce.
I've been Miranda.
I've been Beckers.
And remember, podcasting is cheaper than therapy. Bye.